Hi everybody, welcome here, welcome back to my channel. My name is Morgan if you're new. I am a mom to 3 little girls. I have a almost 3.5-year-old, an almost 2-year-old, and a 2-month-old. She just turned 2 months yesterday and it's crazy. I don't know how it's flying by so fast. This is my 3rd baby and I'm still saying that. So it's true what they say about how time flies when you have kids. It's sad, but that's just the way it is. Today I wanted to sit down and film a 10 things I am leaving behind in 2025 Mom Edition. It is actually January 6th today when I am filming this, and I wanted to film this before it was 2026, but me and my family were sick and so I haven't been filming anything. So this is the first video I am filming in 2026. So before I get into this video, I suggest you go make yourself a coffee. I have a maple latte here, and I also have a whole pile of laundry that I want to sit and work on while we chat. So grab some laundry, make a latte, and yeah, let's get into it. I have everything written down here on my phone. So the first thing, which is funny, being on my phone too much. I spend way too much time on my phone. I film for TikTok on my phone. I edit for TikTok and Instagram on my phone. And I scroll on my phone. I answer emails on my phone. I do lots of things on my phone. But that's all fine and dandy, but I don't put it down enough. So I want to get my screen time down significantly. I'm not even going to tell you what my screen time data is because it's high. It's too much. So my goal is to stay off of my phone when I can in front of my kids. I don't want to be sitting and scrolling on my phone in front of my kids. I want to be present with my kids, be present with my family, and just keep the phone tucked away a little bit more. Something I have done in the past is put my phone in a drawer. You can put it on loud so that you can hear it if you get a phone call or whatever. But it actually helps a lot because if you can see it, you're thinking about it, you pick it up, it's just out of sight, out of mind. So that's the first thing. I want to be on my phone less. The second thing on my list, this is a little bit vulnerable, but that is yelling. Specifically, yelling at my kids. So I try not to yell on a daily basis, but sometimes I lose patience and yelling just gets the best of me sometimes. It's not something I am particularly proud of, but it's something that I do. I have told my kids to do something time and time and time again, and they don't listen. Or I am breaking up fight after fight after fight after fight. Yes, I do yell. And it's not something I am proud of, but it's something that I am working on. Ask God to intercede for me in that area. And sometimes I will slip up, but you know, that's something that I want to try and work on for this coming year. The third thing that I want to leave in 2025 is being lazy with my home. Obviously, tending to a home is a lot of work. Sometimes I just let things slide. I do not enjoy dusting. Okay? Just going to be very honest and let you know that most of the time I don't dust. It is not in my daily cleaning routine at all. It's something that I would like to work on a little bit more. I am very good with keeping up with the daily cleaning things like vacuuming. I do that every day. I need to do that every day. Otherwise, you know, there's crumbs everywhere all the time. As far as like getting into spaces and truly deep cleaning them on a regular basis, I am bad at that. I want to just be more intentional with how I clean and just take more pride in my home because I am very grateful for the home that I have, and I want to be a good steward of what God has given me. I think that starts with not being lazy, with taking care of it. That's good. Number 4 is kind of goes hand in hand with number 3, not following a cleaning routine. I actually do have a cleaning routine, and I haven't followed it in so long that I wouldn't even be able to tell you what the cleaning routine is off the top of my head. So that's a problem. I should be able to tell you my cleaning routine, but since I can't, I think that means that I need to implement it again. I also feel like that just helps keep my mind clear. Like if I know what I'm going to be doing every day of the week, I don't have to think about it. I'm just gonna do it, you know? I am kind of scatterbrained when it comes to cleaning. I just clean something when I see it, and then I don't actually know how long it's been since I last cleaned it. Basically, I just kind of am flying by the seat of my pants, and it's not working anymore, which kind of goes hand in hand with the last one. I feel like it's just making it more complicated than it needs to be and more overwhelming than it needs to be. I want to stick to a cleaning routine and I want to follow one. I think it would just help me out in my role as a mother and a homemaker. Work smarter, not harder. So,
Mommy?
what?
Can I come too?
No, I'll be done right away. 5th thing that I want to leave in 2025 is spending unnecessarily. I will be the first to raise my hand and say that I am guilty of this, and it's something that I want to work on. I am guilty of buying things that we don't necessarily need. I make justifications in my brain for all of the reasons why we might need it, but when it comes down to it, lots of the times it's just a want, it's not a need. So those things that are just a want, I want to hone in on that a little bit because it's unnecessary. I want to practice saving. Saving is something I have never been good at. And when I mean never, I mean when I was 16 and could buy a car, I saved up enough until I could buy the first car that I saw, and it was a crappy car and needed a lot of work done to it. Thank goodness my dad can do that kind of stuff. But if I would have just waited and saved a little bit more, I would have been able to buy something more reliable versus just buying the first one I saw that was the amount of money that I had, you know? I think that kind of stems from I'm not a very patient person, and so saving takes a while. Yeah, if I want something, I just want it, right? But I think that that will be a good skill to work on. Just, again, stewarding the money that I have, stewarding the things that I have, and being grateful for the things that I do have. I have a lot. I have been blessed with a lot, and I don't need a lot. So that is something that I want to work on. Yes, I want to spend less this year. Number 6 is too much screen time. And this is obviously for myself, but mostly for my kids. Our kids are allowed screen time, and they have been for quite a while. Particularly, I find that there gets to be a problem in certain seasons of life for us. Like when we're sick, we have it on a lot. Or we live in particularly cold area, and when it's really cold out, we don't go outside. -30 with kids is just too cold. I mean, you can bundle up and be prepared for anything, but it's not very enjoyable. So we don't go outside when it's -30. And so on particularly cold days, bad weather, we use the TV a little bit more when we bring a new baby home. And that is kind of the season that we're in right now. We have a new baby in the family, and we were just sick, and it has been cold. So I just feel like the TV has been on way too much. And you know what? I do notice a difference in behavior with my kids. I am aware of that, and so since I'm aware of it, I think I should make a change. I'm not saying that we're going to cut screen time completely, but I think we can limit it. I think that that is a healthy decision. So that is something I want to do. I want to limit the screens, which our kids don't have iPads or anything or tablets. It's strictly just the TV. And they're only allowed to watch certain TV shows and movies and stuff. But I'd like to do screens less, go outside more when we can. Something else that we do is my oldest is only almost 3.5, so obviously not school age yet, but just for fun, I was pregnant with my third daughter, Otley. I started doing school with them, you know, just incorporating some routine and doing some fun little workbooks and some little preschool songs and, you know, games, stuff like that. And I want to implement that again because she actually asks me to do that almost every single day, and I have just felt too overwhelmed with having a new baby and stuff. But Otley's 2 months old now, and I'm starting to feel like we are ready for routine, and it will be actually better for us to just get back into the swing of things, especially with Christmas being like coming on now. I feel like we've sat around and we've done our relaxing and enjoying the holidays, and now it's time to get back into the swing of things. So that one's a big one for me. I really, really love to work on that. Number 7 is not getting outside enough. This one is kind of self-explanatory. In the summer, we spend basically our entire morning outside. My kids still do nap, so we spend our time outside. We come in, eat lunch, and then they go to bed. And then when my husband gets home in the evenings, we are back outside again for most of the evening after supper. So in the summertime, we get our fair share of outside time. But like I said, we live in Saskatchewan and it's cold, and it is a lot of work for me to get all 3 kids dressed in all of their snow gear. If you know, you know, little kids, it is hard to get them dressed up to go outside. When it is more mild, I really want to force myself to just get outside. They love it. Sometimes it doesn't last very long. The last time I tried to get us all outside, my second daughter, Isla, it took me like half an hour to get everybody dressed. I was wearing the baby, and then we get outside and she didn't even last 5 minutes. So I had to haul all the kids back inside. It was a little bit of a fail. If it's a more mild day, I'd love to just make the effort, get outside, breathe fresh air into our lungs, because being cooped up inside, it's not good for you. I think just to breathe outside air for at least 10 minutes a day is probably a very good thing to practice. So that is something that I want to work on this year. Number 8 is getting ready for the day. Since having Otley, something that I have not been implementing is any sort of routine. I basically wake up when she wakes up in the morning, and she is a big night owl, so I'm actually up very late into the night, and then she sleeps all night, thank goodness, but she tends to sleep in the morning. And just during Christmas and all that, husband has been home with us, and so I've been able to sleep in, which is very nice. Even when he was working and I was waking up when he went to work, I wasn't in any sort of routine. I just was waking up, and immediately 3 little people needed me all at once. You know, I have to nurse the baby, this child wants a snack, this child wants this, like, I'm just needed constantly right away when I open my eyes. I want to get up before at least one of my children and just work on getting ready. And that doesn't mean like putting on an entire face of makeup, because I don't actually do that anyway. Just for me means getting dressed, putting deodorant on, brushing my teeth, because when we first brought Otley home, there was a couple days where I didn't even brush my teeth, wash my hair, or put deodorant on. I literally looked like a troll. And it was just, I was a little overwhelmed there for a minute, and I was just looking after my kids. You know, I wasn't prioritizing myself. And as moms and women, we need to prioritize ourselves, because it's that age-old saying where if you're trying to fill everyone else's cup but yours is empty, it doesn't really work. It's just a very little thing, but I want to at least wake up before one of my children and just get ready. I feel like when I get ready in the morning, or at least like get dressed, I feel a lot more productive throughout my day. Sometimes, I'll admit, I do stay in my pajamas all day, and that's fine. I love staying in my pajamas, particularly not even putting a bra on. Is that TMI? I don't know. It's true. Just a sec, I need more laundry. Getting ready and prioritizing a little bit of time to myself in the morning before I'm having to start all of my mom duties for the morning is a goal of mine. Number 9 is talking negatively about myself and others. I am someone who has always struggled with self-deprecating talk about myself. Is that a word? I think that's a word. I'm usually someone who has been very negative about myself, particularly like my appearance, my weight, that type of thing. And basically, to put it simply, I don't want to do that anymore. It tells us in the Bible that we need to honor our bodies and not curse them. So I want to practice not cursing my body this year, and also just plainly for the fact that I have 3 daughters. My oldest is 3.5. She understands the things we say. My 2-year-old is getting to that point, and I do not want to say anything about myself that they can hear, and I do not want them to start saying negative things about themselves. God created me exactly how I am supposed to be, and He created my children exactly how they are supposed to be. When you put it into this perspective of, I look at them and I think they are the cutest kids in the world. I think that they are beautiful. I'm their mother, and I can't imagine them ever saying anything awful about themselves, you know? Like, that's crazy to me that they would ever think anything. When you think of it like God is my father, He made me exactly how I am meant to be. Think of how He feels when I am talking about how I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. I wish I was this, 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 and this. How He would feel if, you know, I want to change that. And also, self-explanatory, I want to tame my tongue when it comes to gossip. That's a very hard one to not do, but plainly, I don't want to do that anymore. That's something, to be honest, I'm always praying about, is that God would tame my tongue. I'm going to have to always continue with that one. Yeah, that's something I want to work on too. Okay, and number 10 is not making time to read my Bible every day. And then kind of a piggyback is or go to church because of our kids. So with the Bible one, that's pretty self-explanatory. I sometimes don't make that a priority, and sometimes I don't read my Bible. I want to make it a priority. I want to be, number 1, spending time in God's Word before spending time scrolling on social media. The mindless scrolling does absolutely nothing for myself, whereas reading the Bible, it's God's living Word. That's where I strengthen my faith, draw closer to Him. That's where I need to be spending my time. The fact that I'm spending more time scrolling on my phone than I am reading my Bible, I think is a problem. So, I would like to work on that this year as well. Not going to church because of our kids is letting us use them as an excuse. Like, well, they're going to be too loud, or they're not going to be able to sit nicely, so it's going to be hard. Yeah, it probably will be. They probably won't want to sit, be very quiet, but it's good practice for them. I want my kids to learn how to sit in church and be as quiet as they can. So, and I don't want to use them as an excuse. I think it's good for them to go to church and to learn, you know, that that's our routine. That's what we do on Sundays. I think it's okay that we gave ourselves grace for the season of life we were in at the time, and we just watched church online. But I would like to start going in person more. Okay, so that is the 10 things that I want to leave behind in 2025 as a mom. I got some laundry done, which is nice. I didn't get it all done. I still have quite the pile beside me, but at least I got some of it done. I'd love to hear some habits that you want to implement and some things that you want to leave behind in 2025. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. The laundry in question.